Welcome! In today's video, we examine the role of house positioning and orientation in the design of a net zero energy home. The main idea: to position the house to capture the sun rays to heat the entire home. How it works: position windows to let in sun to heat the house in the winter months. Store excess heat and thermal mass to be released after the sun goes down to keep the house warm throughout the night. Lessons from nature. In nature, plants grow toward the sun. Principles of biomimicry suggest that in home construction, the windows can be positioned in the path of the sun to passively capture the sun's energy. Lessons from history. Throughout history, people from around the world have built homes into south-facing caves designed to passively face the sun and soak up the sun rays. United Kingdom, Turkey, New Mexico, China, many regions around the world. Movement of the sun. When considering the positioning of a building on a site, since the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, for most of daylight period, the sun travels across the sky in the south-facing side of the property. It is therefore advantageous to position an abundance of windows on the south side of the building to capture the daylight passive solar energy. Summer and winter angles. In the summer, the sun is right above, and in the winter, it is lower in the sky at an angle. These different slopes of the path of the sun's rays allow for design elements to heat in the winter and cool in the summer. By creating roof overhangs and other elements, it is possible to keep the windows shaded in the summertime. In the winter, the sun rays can come through the windows as the sun is at a lower angle in the sky. Thermal mass. As the heat is captured, it can be stored, like a battery, in thermal mass. Thermal mass as walls, windowsills, floors, countertops, and other materials that retain the heat and release it gradually after the sun goes down. An illustration of this concept is a pizza brick oven. These ovens have thick thermal mass that retains heat fired from wood or coal. In many cases, these ovens can cook a pizza in 30 seconds because the heat is radiating from all over the oven. The bricks are releasing retained heat. During vacations, operators often leave a small fire burning because if the oven goes cold, it takes about 2 weeks to reheat the brick thermal mass. Calculating the path of the sun. There are numerous ways to calculate the path of the sun. Here are some examples. Conclusion. The proper orientation can lead to significant passive solar gains. Case study. The Solis House, built in Cole, Canada by Robert L. Peters. The majority of the heat used in the house is provided by the sun and uses 85% less than conventional buildings.
Did you know that the amount of sun that hits the Earth in 1 hour is greater than all of the energy that we as a species use in a year? It's truly remarkable. So the sun is a universal energy source. It's inexhaustible, and it's also indigenous. And I love that. Indigenous means local everywhere. It's a great equalizer. Capturing the sun to heat living spaces isn't rocket science, and it's not new. Humans understood this back as far as the Neolithic, and here you can see evidence today still in China, Turkey, Jordan, and New Mexico. And here's how it works. Being closely tied to sun and season, not clock and calendar as we are today, Ancient cave dwellers observed naturally what is missed by many of us in the fast-paced rat race that we're in. So in summertime, the sun angle is really high. In wintertime, the sun angle is low. In summer, cave dwellers would move to the front of the cave where they would benefit from cooling breezes and they would have shade. And in wintertime, they would simply move to the back of the cave where they would be warmed by low-angled sun and perhaps a small fire to help heat the rock around them. Thanks to the 23.5-degree tilt of the Earth's axis, which gives us the seasons, the total difference in sun angle anywhere on Earth during a 6-month period is 47 degrees, so 2 times 23.5. At 50 degrees north latitude, such as in Winnipeg here, the sun angle at the winter solstice is 16.5 degrees, and at the summer solstice, 63.5 degrees. The difference is the 47 degrees between summer and winter. And keeping that in mind when designing is what allows you to calculate sunlight penetration. Optimal orientation and siting of a home assures a high level of unobstructed winter sunshine. So Solis House faces due south. It's protected on the north by a garage, and it's surrounded by deciduous trees. It's in the woods. Those offer shade in summer, and yet the sun can penetrate through the bare branches in winter to warm the home. In addition, planted conifers on the northwest provide protection from prevailing winds. A berm on the west side adds earth-sheltered tempering. Airlock vestibules on the 2 entrances also reduce air infiltration. On the south side, the shutters come up at night to protect that. On the east side is a wood stack that holds 3 winters' worth of heat, and raised garden beds to allow for organic gardening. Here's a view of the yard from the top of the house, and here on the west side are climbing vines that help shade that facade on late summer afternoons and keep that cooler. Here's Solis House in winter. On a day like this, warm and cozy, even in the coldest weather. The cross-section looks like this. So aside from moderately sized windows on the east and west side that allow for side ventilation, all glazing is on the south facade. A cut-back main floor allows the winter sun to heat the thermal mass in the lower level. So the sun shines right into the lower level, and it heats up all this concrete and granite around an airtight wood stove. And the key here is insulation on the exterior, so that acts as a heat sink. Precisely calculated overhangs make sure that there's full winter penetration and no summer sunshine comes into the house at all. That means it stays really cool in summer with no need for air conditioning. And the shutters on the south side come up at night, keep in the heat, and the open vertical layout allows for a natural convection loop with no need for fans or ducting. There's an interstitial greenhouse down here, so you can grow, veggies and herbs in the wintertime. And up on top, a nice little star lookout for meditation at treetop level. I've now lived in Solis House for 30 years without a furnace. The house works exactly as designed. It's comfortable year-round. It needs less than 15% of the energy used by a conventional Canadian home.